Pilates movers, and welcome to day 20. We finally, after a couple of days of hiatus, we are back on track with a mat class. Two of my kids just tested positive for strep, so I'm pretty sure my immune system was fighting something, and while I'm not sick, I'm pretty sure I was on the cusp. But here we are, back and energetic and ready to go with your modified mat Pilates class. So I am deviating from our classical sequence a little bit to do a class that hopefully will get you more engaged with your core muscles. So I'll be using a number of props today. I have a box which you can use just a chair, couch, ottoman, anything that helps elevate your feet. I have a ball and a yoga block. I'll probably use the ball over the yoga block, but the yoga block will have a similar use or purpose. And then I have our magic circle. Okay, so I hope that you were able to do a little bit of breathing practice and maybe focusing again on using the core. So I just want to reiterate that when we do Pilates, we work from the core and we move out into the periphery, okay? So if you're doing something and you don't feel core muscle connection, please stop what you're doing, pause the video, refine the core, and then continue your movements. Okay, because if that is not what's happening, you're likely stabilizing from your back, from your neck, from your glutes, something that is not more your anterior portion of your core. And that is how we kind of do almost like a mat class that's not a mat class, right? It's not Pilates. And so we are going to go ahead and get started with some breathing and our magic circle, okay? And today I'm gonna put my heels up, elevated. So what this will do is it just helps to relax my lower body so that I'm not holding up my feet. So let's see if I can angle a little bit. I'm gonna bring my legs together and put my magic circle in between or in front of my quad. So you can do this with the ball or with a yoga block. Well, you get the idea. So here, our shoulders are away from our ears, and take a second to put them behind your back. And let's inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. And when we exhale, let's push into our circle and think of lengthening our neck back. Okay, I'm gonna have you hold that squeeze and inhale and exhale. Now when you inhale this way, it should be almost impossible to allow your belly to expand and open, okay, like this. So if that's happening, we're losing our deep core muscles. Now please remember, I do not recommend this breathing for just your day-to-day. It is just in the Pilates studio, okay? We're gonna inhale, exhale, feel the sternum soften, ribs close, and pushing into the circle with your arms. Let's push big. Okay, and then you should feel your core muscles engaged. Okay, draw your belly button down if you can. Hold that tension, and let's inhale. And exhale. And let's spiral our arms so our elbows are coming closer together. And one more. Okay, and there you should feel very connected, again, because that level of core muscle engagement should not allow your belly to expand, and your breathing should go into the back. That is our Pilates breathing, okay? So another thing that you can do is look at the end of your sternum. That's about rib number 5 or 6. Slide down, okay? Put your fingers on your ribs, inhale, and exhale. And feel your fingers coming closer together and down towards the table. Okay, so ideally in this initial position, we want our spine to lengthen so much that our whole spine is touching the mat, okay? So I don't want you to jam it down by changing your neck position or tucking your butt. Okay, I want you to do that with the breathing. And then you should feel your abdominals are tight and pulled in. And for every exercise, you should be doing that, okay? I'm gonna open my feet a little bit for bridging. So let's inhale and let's exhale. slightly tilt your pelvis. Just a little bit. This should not come from your feet. If you don't know how to get your feet out of it, let's relax them down here. Inhale and exhale. And use that exhale. Once you're in a little bit of a tilt, so your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones, release your glutes if you can. And if you can't, you know you're holding yourself up with your glute muscles and not your abdominal muscles. Okay? We try and relax the legs here. Inhaling and exhaling, deepening your connection. Okay? And then let's keep our legs kind of loosey-goosey, but let's put our heels back on. And this time now, we're still tucked. Okay? Push your heels down and use that hamstring engagement now to curl your tailbone more. Okay? That should fire up the back of your legs and your glutes a little bit more so you can get more length through the low spine, and then bring it down. Relax the legs, inhale, exhale. Use that exhale to tilt the pelvis back. Really draw the belly button down to get that mid-back portion down, and then fire up the glutes, hamstrings to roll up here. Okay, inhale and exhale. Okay, we have two more. Inhale, exhale, rock back. Now coordinating all of it together, shrink the ribs in the front. Inhale, exhale, close everything in the front. Think of rib cage and hip bones coming together, and then stretching down. And again, rocking back. Inhaling and exhale down. Okay, so we should be feeling some hamstring connection, abdominals. Our neck should be long. Okay, now I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to use this as a pillow. Okay, when we lift our head up and we allow this neck flexion, it's easier to find the flexion in our thoracic mid-back here. Okay, this is where we want to be for 100 with our head lifted this way, but it's being held up by our abdominals here. Okay, so let's go maybe slide our feet out a little bit so we're not quite at a chair position. Press up through your heels, okay, so that we're taking the tension into the hamstrings and the abdominals and not into the back. And let's inhale and let's exhale, bring one leg in. Inhale and exhale, lower. Reconnect into the side. We're going to alternate. Exhale. Inhale and exhale back. Now you can see, hopefully, nothing here is changing. I'm not changing my spinal position. I'm not changing my rib cage position, my sternum. My belly stayed pulled in. Even as I inhale and exhale, even the exhale is coming down more. And inhale, it's staying where it is. And exhale, it's connecting even more. Okay, and now we're going for our challenge. Okay, so our pubic bone is slightly higher than our hip bones, and our belly is pulled in and everything is tight. And our arms are pressed down into the table. Maybe they're wide, maybe they're close, that's up to you. And we're gonna bring one leg into chair position. And then can you lift this second leg without changing anything? I'm pretty sure I changed this. I think I arched, okay, maybe you did too. That is a cheat, and not a good cheat, not a modification cheat, a cheat that might hurt your body. Okay, so you should not be holding chair position, or I would recommend you don't, until you can do this to this without changing anything, without tension in your neck, right? Okay, a lot of people dismiss that. That is so foundational to the rest of the mat work, okay? If you're in reformer class, try that in your reformer work also. When you're pressing out and in for your footwork, try and keep that pubic bone lifting up to the rib cage as you press out and in. Like, are you changing here? Okay, are you rocking? Maybe it's so subtle that you barely notice it or your instructor doesn't see it. So pay attention. Pilates is all about intention and awareness. Okay, where were we? We're gonna 100 like this. And we're just gonna keep our head on the ball with this leg tuck, but we're gonna push into the ball and we're gonna pull the ribs close and down, tilt our pelvis and activate our hamstrings, and inhale and exhale. And let's inhale to 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, into, 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 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, oh no, what, 2 more, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, now last one, and exhale, and release. That was for me my most connected 100. Whew. My hamstrings are shaking and my core muscles were so locked in that whole time. Okay, and that's where you want to be with your hundreds. You should feel it in your abdominals, and if you don't, you either need more connection or a positional change. Okay, so we're gonna go heels on, still press down, fingers are together, and the thumbs are gonna go alongside your neck. Okay, so here I'm reaching my elbows behind me almost, and I'm holding my head with my hands. So my neck is totally relaxed. Okay, it's hard to do, but my arms and my shoulders and my ab curl are holding my neck. So from here, we're gonna inhale and exhale, pull the ribs into the table to lift up and return them just a little bit. You can see I'm not lifting with my head first. I'm pulling my ribs down. So inhale, exhale, and inhale, return, and exhale. Hands are on, inner thighs engaged, and release. Good, let's do 2 more. And last one. Whew. And for me, that's burning, okay? And it's okay to work that small. When everything is connected and integrated, your movements don't have to be very big, okay? That's also, I feel like, a Pilates myth. More is, we are in this culture of more is better, harder is better, faster is better, and literally none of that is true. Better is better. My favorite saying, better is better. Okay, so let's use our ball for a pillow here. We're going to bend our bottom leg and we're going to talk about mouse house. So I'm slightly exaggerating my mouse house so you can see it, but I'm on my shoulder and my hip. You might be down a little bit more on your rib cage, okay? My ribs are still pulling in, and I'm gonna slightly tilt my pelvis so my pubic bone is still kind of in front of my hip bones here so that I'm not arching my back. And I'm gonna bring my legs slightly forward and I'm gonna feel my spine in the back. And if it doesn't feel long, I'm gonna tuck my pelvis more and bring my leg forward. And I'm gonna raise, where's my mouse house? There it is, and lower. I'm gonna raise and lower my leg only as much as I can see that mouse house still exists. Video yourself doing this work. It might be life-changing, okay? And exhale, because what I know I'm gonna see is this. Okay, you see how my mouse house changes? That movement coming from my hip as opposed, or from my spine and not from my hip socket. Where's my mouse house? Okay, that changes a lot. And then when we bring our leg forward, that mouse house stays there. And we bring our leg back and our mouse house stays there. My bottom leg is pressed into the table. And I need my breaths to help me stabilize. And let's do 1 more. I know this is still a lot of talking, but there is, relax. I told this to my private session people, there is a learning curve in Pilates, a big one. And once you get over that hump, the progress is amazing. If you take the time to learn the foundations, okay, and the fundamentals, it makes a really big difference in how you perform the work and what you feel and how fast you get strong. Okay, so we're gonna press this leg down. We're gonna make sure pubic bone is slightly tilted in front of hip bones. We have a mouse house, and we're gonna raise and lower. This is my very weak side on this, so you can see for me range of motion is very, very different here. And let's go 2 more. And we'll hold that leg up, and we're gonna bring it forward and back. And again, I don't have very much extension here in my leg. As soon as I extend, I start to arch my back, okay? So I'm watching the space between my rib cage and my hip bone, and I'm thinking, does that space stay the same? Look at it, okay? Put some dots there, you know, stickers, or your fingers, and watch. I did that with clients before. I put dots on their clothes, okay, or I hold it. Is that staying in place? Remember, we work from here first and then out to the periphery. Mouse house. I think that's pretty good. Whew. Okay, what else was I going to show you? I think I was going to show you reverse knee folds. So let's flip onto our backs. I'm going to keep the pillow since it's here. We're doing modifications. Okay, and I'm going to take myself into a little bit of a posterior tilt. It's quite a big one actually, but I have a hard time with chair position right now. So I'm going to really pull this in on an exhale. Think of my rib cage and my hip bones coming together, and I'm going to find that chair position. And again, if your belly pooched up when you lifted your legs, like this, okay, chances are you dropped into your back or your SI joints. Okay, so then just keep one leg up and bring it down, and the other leg up. This should be hard, no matter your fitness level, okay? But I'm gonna take a chance on my core muscles here, and if you have it, let's do our reverse knee fold, okay? And I can feel my back in the mat. I was telling someone the other day, if you need to be on a hard floor to feel this, go ahead and do that. Sometimes a mat will take away your tactile feedback. And I'm shaking. I'm probably losing my abdominals. And let's relax, okay? If you cannot do that move without pushing your belly up, please don't do your hundreds with extended legs, okay? You will lose your form, and again, you will lose the purpose. So for your leg circles, I'm gonna keep it at a bent leg, 2 bent legs. One leg is stabilizing, one leg is moving, and I'm gonna look at my hip bones. Right now, one of my hip bones really dropped to the floor, so I'm gonna try and level them out and engage my abdominals. And I'm gonna do small circles. And I'm gonna be looking to make sure my belly button's still pulled in and that my hips don't change and reverse. Like, are they rocking? Are they swiveling? Okay? Is my leg here moving out and in? Those are the things to look for. Okay, so right now with a single joint movement, everything else stays in place. My hamstring on my stabilizing leg is super engaged. And let's reverse. I did not cue that switch very well, but you get the idea. One more time. And relax. And then from here, we're just going to take it into a little bit of a bridge. Hopefully it moves better, and now you can feel how your chin drops to your sternum as you round up. We can really feel this deflection, flexion, round, right here, and then back down, and up, and back down. Good, and we're gonna leave it at that today, okay? To practice those modifications. Practice that breathing with the magic circle, or you can use the yoga block. You can even do it seated. You're getting that feedback for your core muscle engagement. It is not intuitive, that's why we have to practice it. And then as always, please feel free to message me with questions, send me a video, ask me if you're doing it right, or come have a session in here. I'd love to work with you. Okay.